And here we are, the very first episode of Rango Dango Reads. This is my book review podcast. My name is Chase Tuten. I'm hidden behind the mic because we're figuring things out. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, and if you're watching this, my movements are mirrored, so it's interesting to me because I'm moving one way and on the screen it's moving the other. So, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Um, so basically, I like the name Rango Dango. I think it's a pretty cool name. Like the logo, like chameleon, because we are taking upon the mindset of every book we read. We're diving into the story and trying to figure out, what it's about, surface level and beneath that in some cases. Um, but this is just the intro. I decided to start reading this year. A couple of the books, the first couple books, well, check that. The first book that I'm going to review, I read a few years ago. Um, and then moving forward, I'll start with what I read in January, February, and we'll continuously progress. So basically, I just started reading, decided to start reading, and I just want to review the books that I read in case maybe you have the same interest as me, and you heard of the book, don't know anybody who's read it, maybe you haven't heard of a book, and maybe you're just interested in hearing someone else's opinion on a given book. So we're going to do that, and we're just going to have fun with it. These episodes, let's give you the full rundown of everything we're doing here. Um, so this podcast is going to be the full book review. Okay, it'll be somewhere between probably 10 and 15 minutes. I'm not going to talk forever. It's just they're going to be pretty quick, just the ins and outs. If we eventually have a guest on here, hopefully the author of a book I reviewed, that'd be pretty sweet. We'll see, we'll get there. Then they'll be a little longer. But if it's just me talking, probably between 10 and 15-minute reviews. I also have an Instagram page of the same name, Rango Dango Reads, a TikTok page of the same name, Rango Dango Reads, and a YouTube channel of the same name, Rango Dango Reads. Now, on the Instagram and TikTok, I will also do progressive reviews. So at about 10% of the book, 25, 50, and 75% of the book, I'll give progressive reviews on how it's going. Those will be on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. Now, the full review, how I viewed it from start to finish, everything collectively combined, will be on the podcast and in the actual YouTube video, which will just be basically the podcast video uploaded to YouTube. So if you want just the full review, check us out on Rango Dango Reads podcast or YouTube channel. And if you want progressive reviews to see how things go, how things change, just an update as I'm reading, then that would be more on the TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts. So um, that's basically it about the concept of the channel. I just started reading. I want to review books. I think it's fun. I think literature is an amazing thing. It says a lot. So we're just going to get into it. A little bit about myself. It sounds like I'm speaking kind of fast. I guess I'm a fast talker sometimes when I'm on a roll. I don't know. But a little bit about myself. What credentials do I have to review books? Well, basically none. Okay, I basically have zero credentials to review books. I don't have a literature degree. I have not been an avid reader, so I don't have a huge uh, library of books in my head. I don't have a ton of background knowledge on the classics or really any books for that matter. I've been much of a movie man myself. So, not many, excuse me, not many credentials, I suppose. However, I, I mean, I suppose this might not even be a credential in itself, but I teach middle school. So I am in education, but I'm mostly a math teacher as well as a couple other random subjects. So, there's that. but I am in education. I'm going to come with my mindset for this. All of my reviews, I'm not going to try to bash any type of books. I mean, writing a book is hard. Okay, you spend the time, the effort, and you put out this work that you're proud of. I'm never going to bash a book. The only thing I will do is I will give my opinions. I will stay positive about it because even if I don't like something or I think it's not the best, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who will disagree with me and maybe they love the book. Maybe the book is for them. There is an audience for every book out there, and every book is not for every reader, but every book does have an audience. So just because it might not be for me, even if I'm reading it, I'm going to read very different books. I'm going to read fictional books, and you'll see the variety based on the first few that I'm going to review. Um, so I'll read some fiction, I'll read some nonfiction, and kind of just a wide variety. I'm not gonna pick one genre and stick with it. You never know what you may like until you read it. And just because you don't like one book of a genre doesn't mean that you dislike the entire genre. So I'm going to cast a large net and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We may end up loving books we never even thought of. But initially, yes, I am going to judge the book by its cover, and that is typically how I'm going to decide what to read. And currently, the current book I'm reading right now, that is exactly what I did. I judged it by the cover, by the name. Um, it's called Dead Astronauts, but that'll be the fourth review that I do since I already have a first book in mind, Hall of Mosses. Fabulous book. I'll get into that in the next episode. And then we have The Way of Kings, which is the first book in a 10 book series by Brandon Sanderson. Hall of Mosses by Nicolene Evans. And then can't think of the author's name for this one, but it's Faculty Lounge would be the third book that I review. And that one is written by the author who wrote Moxie. I don't know anything about Moxie, but apparently it turned into a series. So, it's popular. Um, but those will be the first three. And then the fourth book I'll review is Dead Astronauts. And then from there, honestly, I have no clue. Um, so, but Dead Astronauts will be the first book, the fourth book I review on the podcast, but it will be the first book that I give progressional updates to. Since I've already read the other books, I don't need to give progressional updates to. So Dead Astronauts will be the first book that I'm giving any 10%, 25, 50, and 75% reviews on the Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. So if you like what I review, fabulous. You know, subscribe, don't subscribe, listen, don't listen. It's up to you. This is mostly just for me to speak what's on my mind and have fun about it. Um, I will also, and this is no money to me, but I will be posting links somewhere. I'll figure out how to do it of where to buy the books online. In case you like the review and want to check out the books that I've read, I'll post it online so you have an easy link to go find it and get it for yourself and compare and contrast your notes with my notes. Um, but that pretty much wraps things up. There's not much more to introduce here. So yeah, I'm Chase Tuten. This is Rango Dango Reads, which is my book review podcast, and catch you next time.